what's going on guys, Kate is here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I will show you the best striker PvE build in Lost Ark. So in this guide I will show you what abilities and awakening skill you want to get. Then I will explain what are the best engravings and cards to use for endgame content. And then lastly I will show you the best gameplay and even which stats you need to allocate for PvE, so you would be able to get the best results and highest damage possible and much more. So no matter how low or high level or gear score your character is, you can easily use this build and follow the step-by-step guide. So if this sounds interesting to you, then let's get right into it. So the striker is a very high mobility class with small AoE skills. Nevertheless, stronger elite and boss monsters are easy target for striker's single target focus skills. The striker is a burst synergy class because of the attack speed buff and the crit chance debuff he gets from his abilities. And then at the endgame we will be using the dead blow engraving, which will make our build do a lot of more damage and much more. So if you are looking for the best leveling, raiding, chaos dungeon or any other PvE content build, then this is the one for you. Okay, so now let's move over to the build itself, and these are the skills you want to have. So then for the first ability we have the Tiger Emerges, and we want to use 10 levels to unlock the quick preparation, single strike and ascension. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Overwhelm. Then for the second ability we have the Lightning Whisper, and we use 10 more levels to select the Lightning's Blessing, quick preparation and fatal lightning. And then for your rune you want to get the Valve. Then for the next one we have the Storm Dragon Awakening skill, and this time we use just 4 levels to unlock the excellent mobility. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Rage. Then for the fourth ability we have the Sky Shattering Blow, and we use 4 more levels to select the excellent mobility. And then for your rune you want to get the Wealth. Then for the next one we have the Triple Fest ability, and we use once again just 4 levels to unlock the Elemental Extortion. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Wealth. So then for one of the last abilities we have the Moon Flash Kick, and we use 10 levels to select the White Flame Kick, excellent mobility and Full Moon Kick. And then for your rune you want to get the Wealth. Then for the 7th ability we have the Swift Wind Kick, and we use 10 more levels to unlock the Lightning Round Kick, Swift Footwork and Furious Spin Access. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Wealth. And then for the last and final ability we have the Sweeping Kick, and we use our last 10 levels to select the Weak Point Detection, Light of Justice and Pure Excellence. And then for your rune you want to get the Gale Wind. Then as well after level 50 for your awakening skill you want to get the Explosive Heat Awakening. But if you haven't reached level 50 yet, then here is a specific guide on which abilities you should upgrade first while leveling with the striker. And then on top of all this, focus on equipping as high item level gear as you can. And then at the endgame you should have 1250 specialization and 350 crit. But again, if you haven't reached this point yet, then try to have around 80% stats into specialization and 20% stats into crit. Okay, so then the way I would recommend to upgrade this build is at level 50, you will get around 250 points. So this is how your build should look like, but then by doing more and more endgame content you will get more points. And at the absolute endgame, this is how your build should look like with all the 410 skill points. So at the start you use the 252 point build, and then by leveling up and completing quests you will get more points. So just keep on improving your skills and getting higher tier runes as well. So then let's move over to the engravings, and you want to get the Dead Blow. This engraving will allow your esoteric skills to deal massive damage because of the extra orbs that you will receive. And at level 3 your effect will be 70% more damage, so this is huge for endgame content. Then for the second engraving we have the Master of Ambush, and since your striker class relies on back attacks for extra 10% crit rate, this engraving adds extra damage on top of all this. Then the next one is called the Keen Blunt Weapon, and because our build has more than 60% crit rate, especially from the Lightning Whisper skill, getting increased crit damage will come very handy to increase our overall damage. Then for the fourth engraving you want to get the Adrenaline, and this will stack up your attack power even up to 6 times, and at level 3 you will get up to 15% extra crit rate. Then the next one is called the Grudge, and this is more advanced engraving that is recommended for tier 3 content. This Grudge is the most efficient engraving against mobs, and you will get your damage increased. but in return you will take 20% more damage. So when you get to the very end game content, which is called tier 3, then get this engraving, and before using it, get it to at least level 2, because at level 1 this engraving is not that efficient. And then for the last engraving we have the cursed doll, and this is a significant attack power increase at the cost of 25% healing penalty. This penalty can be offset by paying more attention on dodging red AoE circles and by using healing potions more often. So then in a quick summary, I would recommend to get the top 3 engravings first and then the bottom 3. And then last but not the least, let's move over to your cards, and you want to get the Armen, Syria, Solus, King Tyrain, Carmen, and Delaine Armen. In general, these cards are an endgame system for maximizing your character, so you don't have to get them right away. But these specific cards will optimize your damage output and survivability in PvE even more. I did bunch of testing for this build, and this was the best and most optimized card set. Okay, so then moving over to the gameplay, and if you have played this class while leveling, you will be very familiar with the skills, so I will just try to give you a short description. So then for the first ability, we have the esoteric skill called the Tiger Emerges, and we want to use the skill for upfront burst and single target damage. Then the second ability is called the Sky Shattering Blow, and it is usually used as a counter attack, and also it provides a massive attack speed and movement speed buffs. Then the next ability is called the Lightning Whisper, and this will generate large amounts of elemental orb and provide a 8% attack speed buff to everyone in your party. It also debuffs your enemies with 18% higher chance to be critical shock. Then the next 3 skills called the Moonflash Kick, Sweeping Kick, and Triple Fist are simple damage spells that will damage the enemy and generate this meter a lot faster. And then for the last 2 abilities, we have the Storm Dragon Awakening and Swift Wind Kick, and these abilities will throw your enemies in the air multiple times, and each time you slam them, this will inflict even more damage. And then last but not the least, for your Awakening skill, we have the Explosive Heat Awakening, which when using will make your character dash forwards 4 meters, and then you will do 4 consecutive explosive attacks and much more. I usually use the skill on endgame bosses or just as soon as it gets off cooldown for more extra damage. Okay, so then let's take a closer look at your best skill rotation. And as we are using the Dead Blow engraving, our main gameplay involves around generating 3 to 4 elemental orbs, and then using your esoteric skills, and then doing massive amounts of burst damage. So the highest damage rotation is to first of all generate 3 to 4 orbs from using the Moonflash Kick, Sky Shattering Blow, Storm Dragon Awakening, and Swift Wing Kick. And then when you see all of your orbs light up, then use the Lightning Whisper, then the Sweeping Kick, and then finish it off with the Tiger Emerges. So let's take a look at what we did in this rotation. We basically used normal damage abilities to generate all of our orbs. Then we used the Lightning Whisper ability to increase our attack speed, and then at the same time we apply a crit resistance debuff to the enemy. And then lastly we used one of our glowing skills called the Esoteric skill, which will do a lot of damage, and then we repeat the same process. So now in my last and final conclusions for this build, remember that if you follow the rotation, you will do a bunch of fast damage, and if you can repeat the same process all over again, you will do crazy amount of damage over time. Then as well apply your Lightning Whisper ability before dealing damage, so you would get attack speed buff and increased crit rate on your target. Then the main stat for this build is specialization, so we would get increased elemental meter gain and increased esoteric and awakening scale damage. And then lastly, your priority is to get to level 3 for the Dead Blow and Grudge engravings, and that's about it. So I really do appreciate everyone for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other good Lost Ark PvE classes that you would like to see in the next video, then feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. If you are interested in the top 3 best PvE builds, or instead the top 3 best PvP builds, then check the links in description or just scroll through my channel. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe, and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you won't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in my next video. So take it easy, peace.